Hi, this demo tutorial will show you how you can discover, analyze, and integrate NIH Common Fund datasets using the CFDE Workbench. The CFDE Workbench is divided into the Information Portal and the Data Portal. From the Information Portal, you can find general information about the CFDE, such as the participating data coordination centers, DCCs, CFDE partnership projects, publications, training and outreach events, webinars, and documentation about standards and procedures related to the CFDE. Let's look at the pages on the Information Portal that list participating Common Fund DCCs. Currently, there are 18 Common Fund DCCs partnered with the CFDE. These programs offer different perspectives that together could enable a deeper understanding of human physiology and disease. Using the Expand button, the DCC page will open, where you can see all of the available assets from that DCC, as well as training and outreach activities, and the Common Fund Program and DCC landmark publications. CFDE partnership projects develop approaches and tools to harmonize data and workflows from multiple Common Fund programs, enabling cross-dataset analysis. These partnerships are meant to enhance DCC-DCC interactions. In addition, these partnerships aim to demonstrate the utility of data integration tools and approaches for working with Common Fund datasets to the broader scientific community. You can find different events related to outreach and training provided by CFDE centers and DCCs. From the event card, you will see the details of the events, such as when they happen, the contents of the events, the hosting DCC, or the place to register. For example, the Glygen Summer Internship Program starts from June 3rd to July 26. The Playbook Workshop happens on 6/25 from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can add events to your calendar using the Add Calendar and accessing the main event page to get more detailed information about the event. Different filters are provided. You can either click the tag on the card or select Tags on the filter. There are monthly webinars hosted every last Friday of each month at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. To help you easily follow up with the CFDE webinars, there is a dedicated webinar page with all the information about past and future webinars. Representatives of each DCC will provide in-depth presentations about their resources in these webinars. The publication page provides a listing of manuscripts supported by the CFDE as well as DCC landmark publications. You can log into the portal using GitHub, Globus, or an email. The CFDE Workbench supports cross-portal user accounts, which means if you are logged into the Information Portal, you will be also logged into the Data Portal. So far, we've looked into the Information Portal, and now we will go through the Data Portal, where you can search for different entities uniformly processed in the same formats across DCCs. You can search for entity types including genes, gene sets, drugs, organic chemicals, diseases, DCC names, etc. Putting two words will do the AND operation. There are about 1,300 results if we search for the GTEx, but if we search GTEx aging, it will narrow down the search result. The order of input doesn't matter unless you use double quotes. Using double quotes preserves the order of search terms, and the result will not be the same. Using OR between search terms will do a union operation. For example, search for 4DN or Spark will show you the result from both programs. The final trick is to try the minus symbol to exclude results with a specific term. GTEx minus aging returns assets from GTEx that are not related to the aging. You can find the search tips from the Search Help page through Learn More. After searching, it's time to look into the results. We will use the example term blood. When you click one of the genes, for instance, AQP1, the data portal takes you to the gene entity page providing short descriptions of the gene, links to submit the gene to CFDE developed tools, displaying gene sets containing the gene, and knowledge graph assertions. Tool cards help analyze genes by submitting the gene directly to the CFDE tools. Returning to the result page, try one of the gene set entities, for example, whole blood, female 50 to 59 up. A gene set entity page provides a project, a gene set library, the number of genes in the set, and a description. Again, you can analyze the list of genes from CFDE tools, Playbook Workflow Builder, and Get Gene Set Go conveniently carry input information. While each DCC provides relevant raw and processed data files, these files vary widely in terms of content, format, and annotations. Having standardized representations of data across DCCs would allow us to maximize interoperability for users interested in the CFDE and also improve the AI readiness of common fund data. Additionally, the CFDE is a dynamic community, and the Workbench portal could expand as data is added from newly onboarded DCCs, as well as retain access to knowledge from programs that have been sunset. Clicking on a file name will automatically download the file from the dedicated S3 bucket we've set up to store all processed DCC assets. CFDE Workbench envisions filling out the matrix through DCC submissions. DRC will assist with processing data into these formats. Currently, the data matrix supports 10 different asset types. The first 4 are considered data or metadata files. C2M2. The cross-cut metadata model was designed to standardize metadata annotations across Common Fund DCCs by the original CFDE Coordination Center. C2M2 data package files are usually zip files containing a set of TSV files already standardized to a set of known ontologies, along with a single JSON schema. XMT files are text-based files that contain a collection of sets of a given entity type. On each row of the XMT file, the first column contains the term associated with the set, while all other columns contain the set entities. Knowledge graph assertion files contain information about the nodes and edges that could be used to create a knowledge graph. The CFDE Data Distillery Partnership is building a Data Distillery Knowledge Graph, DDKG, that integrates data from each DCC into a unified knowledge graph. Attribute tables are matrices that describe the relationships between two entities with one entity type on the rows, for example genes, and another on the columns, for example tissue types. The intersection of a given row and column is then a value defining the nature of the relationship between the row entity and the column entity. The other 6 asset types are code or interoperability assets. These include ETL scripts that have been used for processing any data, especially into one of the other file formats, API specifications, or documentation. Entity pages are landing pages containing information on a single drug, gene, metabolite, or other biological entity. Playbook Workflow Builder. Metanodes are individual workflow components from the Playbook Workflow Builder. The chatbot specifications URL is a link to a manifest file containing metadata and OpenAPI specifications, which can be used to develop a chat plugin for large language models. You will see the CFDE chatbot in the later part of the video. Finally, app URLs are a link to pages that serves as a listing of bioinformatics tools, workflows, and databases produced by the DCCs. For example, there are URLs to Spark tools and resources, SendNet Data Portal, and SendNet Exploration User Interface. A more in-depth explanation of those assets is available on the documentation page. The documentation page contains descriptions of CFDE consortium standards, protocols, user guides, and other documents generated by the CFDE centers, partnerships, and data coordination centers. The documentation could provide the basic concept of the asset, up-to-date standard format, data structures, examples, and scripts. To simplify the process of collecting and updating data files contributed by DCCs, the CFDE Data and Metadata Submission System is accessible from the Data Portal. The submission system is exclusively accessible by DCC representatives registered to the portal. There are 4 predefined roles. General users have no access to the submission system, uploaders who can upload the data, and an approver who can view and manage the DCC assets. The read-only role has access to the submission system to see DCC assets. However, they are restricted from uploading or approving assets. Assets descriptions, templates, and examples of uploading data are provided. Based on the asset types, you will see the step-by-step guide for uploaders to add data and the approver's approval process. For more detailed instructions on using the submission system, a demo video is available. Explore tools and workflows developed by the CFDE community and utilize data across CFDE participating programs. With FairShake, you can evaluate the fairness of data. GDLPA serves as a landing page aggregator for various genes, variants, and drug-centric repositories. Explore Knowledge Graph with Reprotox KG for birth defects. CFDE GSE is a web-based application that serves gene set libraries created from CF programs datasets to provide an integrated cross-program enrichment analysis. The Data Distillery KG for interrelated biomedical ontologies and vocabularies. Get GeneSet Go G2SG is an interactive web app that enables users to fetch gene sets, augment, perform set operations, visualize, and analyze gene sets in a single session. You can build biomedical workflow without programming knowledge using Playbook Workflow Builder. And finally, the revised STAR RNA-seq aligner pipeline is accessible through the Git repository. Don't worry if you are not familiar with CFDE tools. We provide more than 20 use cases over 3 CFDE tools, such as Playbook Workflow Builder, CFDE Data Distillery Knowledge Graph, and Get GeneSet Go. Go to Use Case will show you the readily available use cases from each tool. You will be able to change the parameters of use cases for further exploration. CFDE Workbench implemented a chatbot helper to assist users in finding information easily. Clicking on any of the DCC icons will prompt the chatbot to provide information about the chosen DCC. The general information retrieval process refers to documents we uploaded to the OpenAI Assistance API. This approach ensures accurate responses cited from the provided document. We plan to expand the document even further with a more detailed description of programs or information relevant to the CFDE. If your question is not directly relevant to the CFDE or is not contained within the index document, the assistant will not answer. This is to handle the typical problem of LLMs to reduce the possibility of hallucinations or generally inaccurate responses. CFDE Chatbot utilizes the Playbook Workflow Builder and its standardized workflows that draw knowledge from across multiple DCCs. The text chips provide example questions for some of the currently included workflows that users can execute in the chat. I try a sample question. Which L1000 drugs most significantly up or down regulate STAT3? After ensuring the input gene symbol, the chatbot sends parameters to the Playbook Workflow Builder API to execute the query. For this query, API visualizes the interactive volcano plot along with the table. We've gone through the major components of the CFDE Workbench. In addition, if you are interested in doing your research as a part of the CFDE community, you can find funding opportunities at the bottom. For the DCCs who are interested in archiving the sunsetting tools or data securely, the Data Resource Center offers archiving services so that the tools or data can be restored in the future. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out via email or through the Git issues. With that, I'd like to acknowledge our NIH program officers for their continued support and members of the CFDE DRC, from the Mayan Lab at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai and the Subramaniam Lab at the University of California, San Diego. I'd also like to thank the CFDE community. Thank you all for your attention.